and John's Pantry of a Bay.
All right, Yuki, welcome back to Yuki and John's podcast buffet.
Yes, we're back.
And today, Yuki, sorry I took a sip of coffee while you were. I'm not very professional, but we're talking about phobias today, Yuki. Phobias.
Phobias.
You know what a phobia is?
Acrophobia.
Agoraphobia?
Acrophobia?
What's acrophobia?
Spider? No,
Arachnophobia. Yeah. Yeah, Yuki, you got it. Now you know what a phobia is. It's basically a fear. Well, we'll get into it, but this one was suggested by J. Henry Canary PI on Blue Sky. Had made some suggestions in the past, but phobias, I think this will be really fun because I think I have a lot of phobias that I didn't realize because I'm looking at this list. I have like 2 or 3 lists pulls up of phobias, and I'm going, yeah, I have that phobia. Oh, yeah, I have that phobia too. Oh, yeah, I have. So basically, my whole life is a one long phobia.
Wow.
I mean, and then we'll get into what your phobias are too, Yuki. Well, I wonder what your phobias are.
Well, I just said like a spider.
So spider, okay, let's get into that first before I go into these lists. So spiders is your number one phobia, like the thing that you're afraid of the most?
Spider number 2. Number 1 is snake.
Snake. So that's interesting that your top 2 phobias are animals.
Yeah.
Or insects, whatever the fuck they are. The arachnids.
Third one is a cockroach.
But you know what I think about cockroaches sometimes? They're not that bad. I mean, they're filthy and disgusting, but I would be more afraid of, say, a snake, a poisonous spider than a cockroach, because can cockroaches like harm you physically?
Well, when they crawl on your body, it's gross.
No, I know it's gross. It's gross is one thing, but like I would be more afraid of a fucking alligator or a rabid dog before I would a cockroach. Like, it's gross to see a cockroach, but can a cockroach like actually harm you?
No, but they carry a disease.
So then they can harm you. What disease do they carry, Yuki? Crabs?
No, many, those, I don't know, like all
The plague?
plague, yeah.
They carry cockroach crabs and they go into your pubic hair and drop them off.
Do you eat the food cockroach touched?
If I didn't know, yes. But if I saw a cockroach crawl across my cheeseburger, yeah, I'm not eating that cheeseburger.
Okay.
So, yeah, you're right. Okay. But I wouldn't say that I like when I see a cockroach, it's more like, all right, let me just take care of this. I don't really get like, because I lived in, you remember my apartment, every once in a while in the summer, there would be like a week where it would be like too hot and the cockroaches would be coming out and I would have to do traps or get the spray or whatever. But I never was like afraid. I was more afraid of the mice. Like the
mice, rats, they're bad too because they carry disease too.
Yeah, I
in a way worse than spider and then snake.
Yes.
They have a poison, but as long as they don't bite you, not as bad as rats and cockroach.
Right, but that's why I'm glad I'm not living out in the fucking shitty ass building anymore, because it was like my landlord. I told my landlord, I said, I killed 6 mice this week, and we're on the 3rd floor, so I can only imagine the 1st floor. There must be quadruple the amount, and then imagine the basement. And she goes, "That's city living."
Oh my God.
That's city living. No, motherfucker, that's country living. If you fucking got the mice in your house, basically taking over. And then we found out that the people who lived downstairs before Liz's brother, they were like basically crackheads. And they used to name the mice. They would fucking name them. So you, not only did you not complain to your landlord, you just were like, oh, hey, that's Jeffrey the mouse. That's Henry the mouse. That's Sandy the mouse. That's
crazy. So they feed them? They're like a pet.
They were like pets. Yeah, they would like name them and maybe feed them, and maybe that's why it was perpetuated. But I was like, I hate killing anything. I hate killing even any more like an ant. When I was a little kid, I would, for fun sometimes, you're a kid, you don't know, you kill these things, and then you grow up and realize that they're living beings. It's fucking sad. So I hate killing anything, but when our house was infested with fucking mice, I put glue traps everywhere because I was like, I can't live like this. This is fucking crazy. And then finally they realized that they had to get the exterminator to come in. Thank God. But that was a phobia for a while. I was sitting there. I'm like, I can't even wear like no socks. I have to wear shoes or socks in my own apartment because there's fucking mouse droppings everywhere. It's disgusting.
Gross, disgusting.
Fucking horrible.
So that's why, I mean, in a way, it's mice and mouse and rats and then cockroach are worse than snake and then spiders. Because if they don't bite you, you don't get the poison.
Right.
You don't know if you're eating a food, you don't even know, cockroaches touched it. The maybe mice dropping in it. You don't know that.
Ugh.
That's worse than spider and then snake poison, I think.
The story I think about often that you told me is that the guy ate a cockroach on a Japanese game show, and then it was dead, but it had eggs, and the eggs hatched inside of him, and he died.
Yeah.
That's a phobia. I'm never eating no more arachnids or cockroaches ever again. Fuck that shit. Not on purpose. But I also heard that the average person swallows in their sleep about 8 spiders a year.
Holy shit. Small spider, right? Harmless.
Yeah, like a house spider, like a little, a little chicken spider. It's probably delicious. That's actually, you're sleeping and you're dreaming about being at a restaurant and you're eating a steak and all of a sudden you start chewing, and that's the spider snake.
Actually, I think Chinese, well, even some Japanese eat crickets.
Yeah, the crickets were when I went to Typhoon, the restaurant Typhoon in Santa Monica at the Santa Monica airport. They had crickets on the menu, and my friend was eating them, and he said he liked them a lot.
That was a weird restaurant, huh? You been there?
Yeah, I went there. It was a secret. I think we talked about this once or twice. It was a secret menu because I used to be in a supper club, and it was like 5 or 6 guys. And every month, one person would pick a restaurant. We all go and we eat, and it was great. And we went all over L.A. And my friend Brendan picked Typhoon, and right before we got there, he goes, okay, the reason I picked this place is because obviously they have great Thai food, but there's also a secret bug menu. And we were all like, well, of course we got to fucking try a bug. So I tried a scorpion on the bruschetta, but my friend was eating water bugs and crickets. Like, he was like, this is delicious.
I can't. Excuse me.
Bless you. You're allergic to listening about cricket eating.
I heard they serve whale secretly, and then I think health department busted.
Oh, they got busted. Yeah, it seemed like it was a very nice place and it was cool. You get to see the planes take off and stuff. But yeah, I was like, I kind of wish that I had gotten. I think I got pad Thai, but I kind of wish that I had like not watched my friend eat crickets, because every time I was eating the pad Thai, I was sitting there thinking about crickets.
Right. I mean, if you eat good Thai food, you don't have to go there. You can go somewhere else.
Yeah, there was a place by my apartment that had better pad Thai than they did. So I could have just stayed home. But it was a good the experience of the ambiance of the restaurant was awesome. Watching the planes take off, and you're in like, you could see the fucking tower and all that shit. That was cool.
Then your friend should go to China and they eat the street food. They, barbecuing and scorpion, monkey, bats, and then, all kinds of stuff. So
you never know. We'll plan a trip. Okay, so let's talk about phobia, Yuki. And let's here on Wikipedia, it says phobia. Here we go. It says Phobias occur in it's a technical usage in psychology to construct words that describe irrational, abnormal, unwarranted, persistent, or disabling fear as a mental disorder. So, for an example, agoraphobia, where you're afraid to leave the house.
The phobia too?
Oh yeah, there's agoraphobia. You like basically fear leaving your house and you stay indoors all the time. Maybe you'll go in your yard, but you don't want to go into the open world.
So sounds like it's kind of mental illness.
This is what it's saying here is that it's like irrational, abnormal, unwarranted, persistent, disabling fear. But like okay, I understand that my claustrophobia at certain times is irrational, right? But I'm also a very big person. So when I'm like closed into a space and I can't move or get out, I get really fucking panicky because I'm like, well, on top of this, say I'm in like the back seat of a car, what if I get hit and then I'm fucking even further and then I'm contorted and I start to think, so I have to like turn my brain off to the ideas of what could happen to me in a claustrophobic situation, which is basically fear of small spaces. But I think that my fear is not irrational because basically any space that I go into in public, like a plane or something, is too small for me. So it's not irrational. It's like, it's my experience. I just went on a flight. I will never fly American Airlines again. Not only was the motherfucker to my right eating chili and farting all goddamn fucking time, there were two fucking screaming children behind me. The person to the left of me had BO. The person right in front of me was reclined their seat all the way back and kept moving the whole time. He was going like back and forth and it was going into my knees. And then the reason why I'll never fly American again is because it has like no fucking room. At least Delta and JetBlue have some room where I could fit. They fucking took away at least 3 extra inches. So I had all those things on top of the claustrophobia, and it was the worst fucking flight I've been on in 20 years.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yuki, I'm just a psychopath. Yeah, okay, well, let's see. There is a fear of flying. I don't know what the exact term for that is, but I'll look it up because I have like 5 lists. What's that?
It's kind of phobia too, right? If you hate flying, like if you hate height, that's a phobia too, right?
Yes, that is actually on the list. The fear of flying. Here, let me pull those up real quick because it's here on Wikipedia. Phobia. List of phobias. Let's see. Cultural phenomena, no. Phobia in the natural silence. Fuck, I had it, but all right, why don't I just go through this list and then maybe we'll come upon. Here's 50 common phobias, A to Z. I won't read them all. Oh, here it is. Aerophobia is a fear of flying. But why would you fear flying? Is it because you think you're going to crash? Is it because it's just like the anxiety that comes along with going on an airplane?
Is that maybe there's a difference between flying and then you hate the height, right? Because flying, it's like maybe room is too small. You worry about crash. It's more than just the height.
Yes, I think that it's 2 separate things, and I'll look on this list to see what the fear of heights is called, because it's always like something phobia. So we'll find that out, and maybe it's a word I already know and I just forgot. But yeah, it's like it's definitely a different kind of fear because flying is pretty safe, right? In terms of like the grand scheme of things, it's pretty safe.
People say the flying, it's safer than driving.
In a lot of ways, it is. I can't find the fear of heights. Let me just look that up. But fear of heights, I think, is more reasonable because, like, have you ever watched these videos where people go and climb up to a fucking the top of a building and then without a harness, they're like hanging off the side, taking selfie? I can't watch those videos. It's fucking scary.
Yeah.
And I sometimes when I'm at the top of a building or at the top of a cliff and I look over the edge, you get the intrusive thoughts of like, what would it be like to jump, or what would it be like to fall, or how long would you realize you were falling before you were dead? And that's fucking frightening.
And then there's a sports, right? There is a climbing, but no rope, no device, just using hand.
Oh, like rock climb, like free climbing or something, right?
Right?
Yeah.
They're crazy. They just climbing and grabbing a rock and just going up.
Here it says acrophobia is a fear of heights, also known as histophobia. It's an extreme irrational fear or phobia of heights. Now they keep using that word irrational, but isn't it rational to not want to fall off a fucking cliff?
Yeah, I mean, cliff, automatically it's high. If it's
Yeah.
like one foot.
Right. So if you're at the like by a cliff looking over the edge and you slip and you die, that's there's a true fear there where it's not like irrational, but maybe there are people, I mean there have to be people out there who are so taken with the idea of falling from a tall height that even in their waking hour when they're sitting in a basement they're afraid of it. That's probably where they're saying irrational. Where there's no chance of them falling from a large height at this point in time, but they're still sitting in a chair going, huh, huh, because they keep thinking about falling. In fact, I've developed a strange thing recently, and I don't know what this is called or if it's a phobia, but when I was a kid, and this is a memory I told somebody recently, and then I keep thinking about it over and over in my head. I might have even told you. I was doing homework with my mother. I had to be in like kindergarten, really, really young because I still lived in Brooklyn. So I had to be 7 or under. And we're doing homework and my mother's helping me and she starts erasing something on my paper. And I, like a little kid, did something stupid where I went to put my head down on the table. But when I went to put my head down on the table, my head hit the tip of the pencil. So the fucking pencil tip hit me in the forehead. Now, it was not my mom's fault. It was my fault for being a stupid kid and going, and putting my head down. But now I often think if it was just like 3 inches down, I would be an eyeless motherfucker for the rest of my life. I would have poked my fucking eye out.
Yeah.
Or if I had been really far down and it hit my throat, I would have been dead. So I think back to that core memory many times going, how different could my life have been if it just a few inches down, it hit me in the fucking eye? And then how guilty would my mother feel that she's just trying to help me with my homework and I poked my fucking eye out. So it's like an intrusive thought where I can't get rid of it. So anytime that happens, I'm like, stop thinking about it. I push it away. But that must be some sort of like a phobia, right?
I think so. I mean, right? I mean,
it's not like it's taken over my world, but it's one of those things where I hadn't thought about that memory for fucking 40 years, where however long it's been. And then when I told that story, because it came back to me, maybe I told Liz, you, whatever, it's now been coming back into my mind as like, oh my God. Or if I see a pencil on TV, I'm like, oh, I could have poked my fucking eye out, you know.
Couldn't it be like a trauma? Different words?
Well, it wasn't, I don't think it was trauma because I didn't really think of it. And it wasn't like it was a wound. It just literally was like a moment where it like hit my head and my mother's like, don't put your head down with a sharp pencil. You know, like she like made sure to reprimand me and to be mindful of my environment. And maybe that helped me not do stupid things, right? It was a lesson. But it's one of those things where I think about how close to catastrophe I was in that moment and many moments throughout my life and how lucky I've been to not suffer the consequences. You know what I mean? It's not like it takes over my waking hours, but it is weird that ever since I told that story, I often think back to it when I'm triggered by either seeing a pencil or if somebody's telling a childhood story. It's just very strange.
Wow.
All right, this is like therapy, Yuki. We're getting into phobias. You want to know how fucked up John Brennan is? You're about to find out. There's more fears here, and one of them that I don't think that I have this fear, but I don't like pitch black darkness. I don't like. Yeah, I don't like to like. Come on, when you're in a room, maybe for sleeping, I like it. So I'll turn out all the lights or whatever. But when you have to get up and go to the bathroom, I can only imagine how horrifying it must have been for people before electricity and stuff to have to trek to an outhouse outside and light a lantern and be like holding that. Like that must have been a fucking nightmare, because not only are you have to piss or shit in the middle of the night, you have to travel out to an outhouse, and then there's bugs and like you said, snakes and all kinds of shit. That sucks. But the fear of the dark is why we would have to light the lantern in order to see where we're going and all that stuff.
Well, I think that situation, I scared because, it's dark outside. But if it's woods, I feel that way. But if it's in the city, I don't think I'm scared.
Why not? There could be a psycho fucking bum if it's pitch black and you step on him the wrong way and then he comes and.
But I mean, if you're living in the city, why you go outside to pee? I mean, you have a bathroom inside, no?
Maybe not, Yuki. Some people weren't rich enough to have their own bathroom, or just like okay, waking up in the pitch black in the middle of the night is sometimes like, and you can't see anything. It's very disorienting. You wake up and you're like, where the fuck am I? What the fuck?
First of all, I need a pitch black to sleep. But then when middle of the night, you wake up. But before you move, like just sit 5-10 minutes, you can kind of, well, we're not cat. We may not be able to see as much as cat does, but still, your eye make adjustment. So you can still see. You may not see clearly, but this must be TV here. I mean, the location, so can't be that bad, even if it's pitch black.
I don't know, Yuki. I like a little, just a sliver of light, or just a little bit, or maybe I'll just leave my my phone a little brightness on.
Well, then you need, what's called the night light, tiny light, and then.
Sure, I mean, but that makes sense because you want to be able to find your way to the goddamn bathroom in the middle of the night. I'm not a pussy because I want to fucking have a nightlight. Everybody, don't call me a fucking pussy, Yuki. Why'd you just call me a pussy for wanting a nightlight? That's fucking bullshit. You fuck. How dare you call a person a pussy in the 21st century? You fucking fuck.
Well, because you do, okay, well, then don't use night light. But so just like I said, sit in 5 minutes, wait 5 minutes, then, let the eye adjustment, and then just to see something and then just to walk.
That's good advice, Yuki. I'm going to use that advice. But if you ever call me a pussy again, we're going to have fucking words. Agoraphobia actually is the fear of open spaces. So it's not necessarily just the fear of leaving your house. It's the fear of open spaces. So inside the house, you feel comfortable because it's not a wide open space, I guess.
You know what? The North by Northwest, Hitchcock used that the field scene.
Sure. Yeah, that's a good, interesting point, because that's such a tense scene. And you don't really think about like being in danger in like the middle of an open space, but when the fucking
space, who think it's dangerous? But that worked because it's a scary situation because it's open space.
Aquaphobia, Yuki, is the fear of drowning. Do you have a fear of drowning?
No, really. I mean, okay. When I was a kid, the family we went like a beach, and then, not the beach, there was sand, people go, lying, and then this side is like old rocky, tiny pond, and then climb up the rock, and then the wave hit, and then tiny pond. If you look, there's a tiny fish or a tiny crab is just walking. I felt deeper pond. Like I felt like maybe few feet, and then hit the head. So for a while I was scared going ocean.
So when you hit your head and you fell in, did somebody rescue you, or were you able to pull
my mom just grabbed and then I cut my head, but I mean it wasn't deep enough to get drowned, but still I made this. I hit my head, cut my forehead, and then I was crying, and then
Aw, little Yuki crying on the beach. That's sad. When I was a kid, when I learned to swim, I didn't really learn to swim. I was basically dragged into the ocean by my aunt and drowned for half an hour, and then I came out knowing how to swim. I mean, she really, because I didn't want to go in the water, and she was like, my mom was like, yeah, leave him alone. He doesn't want to go in the water. And my fucking sick aunt, I won't say her name, but I don't speak to her anymore. She dragged me into the ocean and like kept dunking me into the waves and be like, "You're gonna learn how to swim, you son of a bitch!" And was like drowning me. And basically, then I came out. I knew how to swim, and I loved the ocean. So maybe she was right.
oh my god, but that's tough way to learn how to swim. Did you drink like ocean water?
Yeah, all I remember is like seeing the sky and then going back under, like in the darkness, and the waves were splashing, and I was going just choking on water for a long time, and then finally it was just like, all right, you either learn how to swim or you die. And then I started to swim, and then I knew how to swim. It was like a fight or flight syndrome.
Oh my god.
Now you want to know why I'm so fucked up, Yuki. That's why I was drowned to learn how to swim. Bibliophobia. Bibliophobia is the fear of books.
What kind of phobia is that?
I don't know, but it's listed here, and it's listed on practicalpie.com as the 50 most common phobias, Yuki. So that's a common phobia, a fear of book. But in what way? The physical book, the knowledge inside of the book? What is it?
Is it the book attacking you in the middle of the night or what?
Actually, that's cool because the book could flap like a bat and come at you and fuck you up.
No, I never heard. I mean, scaring a book.
Yeah, I wonder if it's because maybe there's a smell too, because sometimes you get the smell of the books. Maybe that's what it is, a turn off on books. Or maybe the knowledge.
I like paper smell.
Yeah, sometimes the paper smell is really good, and especially old books, you could smell like something to it, the ink or something. It smells great.
Yeah.
Or maybe they just had traumatic experiences when they were kids. Somebody, like say my aunt, and I wasn't learning how to read, so she just started beating me with a book.
Or maybe just you don't like study. You don't like school.
That could be it too. I mean, like some people have an aversion to the way that schools are operating, right? So it's like some people could learn things through other means. It doesn't have to just be books or school. They could excel in other environments. So I do agree and understand why somebody, I don't know about a fear of books, but a dislike of books, maybe. But who knows? I mean, like a lot of these things seem to be, if they're a phobia, they probably are deep-seated within us from when we're very young, and something happens that brings those phobias to the forefront when we're older.
I'm honestly, I really don't know about the book. I mean, I know some people buy book and don't read. So
here's an interesting one, Yuki. I'm going to go because these are in alphabetical order, so I'll just pick one from each letter. Catophilia. Catoptrophobia. Catoptrophobia is the fear of mirrors.
Mirror?
I developed that last year. I stopped looking at myself in the mirror. I'm like, you are really fucking ugly and old and fat and stupid. So don't look at yourself in the mirror anymore.
I never heard, I mean, I don't know. Really? It sounds like mentally ill to me then, if you're scaring looking at yourself in the mirror.
Why, Yuki? Because what you see looking back is just it's not you. It's another creature.
No, it's like a G. Gee, am I looking good? I mean, it's like a.
Do you admire yourself, Yuki? When you look in the mirror, you go, "Wow, you look good today."
Yeah, you look good today.
No, I'm just fucking around. I mean, I still, of course, look in the mirror, but sometimes sometimes you look in the mirror and you cringe. You're like, "Oh my God, what happened to me? I used to be like a young person, and now I'm just like so old and fucked up." It's like, why?
Yeah, but I mean, sometimes it's true. You look like shit, but you fix it because you know how you look, so you have a chance to fix it. So still no reason to scaring looking at the mirror.
You know what I found is really helpful? Washing your face. I mean this with all due respect. Like, when you wake up in the morning and you're all puffy and fucked up, like, seriously, sometimes all you need is to just splash some water on your face and then you look and it's like, you're better.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that we're all supposed to do? Yeah, that's why people. Nobody says, "Did you wash the teeth?" It's like, "Did you wash the face?"
Yeah, you like want to scrub your face and teeth, but it's just funny how what a little detail like that is. And I know it's like common knowledge, but it really in recent years surprised me how often I would get out of bed and be like, I'm so groggy and fucked up. And then you wash your face and you feel like $1,000,000 all of a sudden. You're like, wow, I could meet the day. And what was it like for people back in the day when they didn't have fresh running water? What would they do to wake up?
Yeah. I mean, well, they didn't have a well.
Maybe they had a well, but they had to go all the way to the well, or maybe they could just keep the well water in their house. They get a bucket the night before or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love washing my face. That's like one of my favorite rituals is like washing the face, brushing the teeth, getting ready for the day. I also am a morning shower person. I don't really care to. I mean, a lot of times I'll shower at night too. Sometimes I take 2 showers a day. But if I have to choose, I'm a morning shower person.
Too, I'm a morning shower person, and of course, summertime. If you sweat, you may take another one in the afternoon, or if you sweat, maybe 3. I mean, but if normal days, I'm a morning shower person.
But there's a lot of people out there who say if you go to bed without a shower, you're a filthy fuck because you're just basically taking all the dirt from the day and laying in your bed and destroying your beautiful sanctuary of a bed.
But when you take shower before going to bed, and then you don't sleep, you don't feel sleep anymore. No, you kind of waking up.
That's true. Sometimes the shower will wake you up, or like I don't know about you, but there's many nights where I sweat my balls off in my sleep, and I'm just like sweating, and so I wake up and I'm all fucking disheveled and wet, and I just want to. First thing I want to do is get in the shower, put on some Dr. Bronner's soap, scrub all my holes.
Yeah.
I like that shit. I definitely do not have a fear of a shower or water. I love water. I love showering. I love all that shit. But I guess there probably is some sort of a fear of water. I'm sure we'll find it on this list. Okay, here's another one. Dentophobia. Dentophobia, which is a fear of the dentist.
Well, I mean, many people don't like dentists because, I mean, these days they have a, technology. The machine is good, but 20 years ago, 30 years ago, when they drilling your teeth, oh my God, that noise. Then when they miss the mark, and then that drill hit the nerve, God, that's like,
It's like
yeah.
yeah. I get a fear of the dentist because of the tools. I don't get like, you want to have a cleaning, you want to do a lot of stuff, but there's ways to clean your mouth at home. That's fine. But every once in a while with the dentist, he brings out that big fucking drill or the fucking scraper or something. He basically clamps your mouth open.
So I think scaring, hating a dentist, it's normal. I think everybody, in other words, I don't know anybody who like dentist.
As we're talking about this, I'm like touching my teeth. I'm like, uh,
It doesn't work because if everybody hates dentist, forget the phobia thing.
this one's weird. This is a weird one. Frigastric adecaphobia. Frigastric adecaphobia.
What is that?
Fear of the Friday the 13th, of Friday the 13th, the day, not the franchise.
That's bullshit. That's like a belief thing. I mean, if you don't care about the Friday the 13th, Friday the 13th is just a Friday.
It's just another Friday, hanging out, getting some pizza, doing the thing. That's just is rooted in superstition, but maybe people dread the day and think it's just an extra bad omen day or something. I never really found that. I found that regular days, the days where you're not thinking about anything, are the most fucked up days because things come out of nowhere. It's not like every Friday the 13th bad things happen. It's like regular Tuesday in January is when a fucking bad shit was going to happen,
No, I think the superstition. If you, those people think, oh, not Friday the 13th, it's Monday the 9th. Oh, bad day. If you think that way, any day could be a bad, or go other way, any day could be a good. So I think if you hate, scared Friday the 13th, that thinking is a bullshit. I think, it's in your head.
Sometimes, Yuki, but yeah, hey, you never know. Maybe back in the day, something bad happened on Friday the 13th, and the people just have it ingrained in their head, like my pencil story.
That was Friday the 13th?
No, that happened, fucking, like you said, Monday the 9th.
Okay.
Here's one. Glossophobia. No, sorry, not glass. Glossophobia. Glossophobia, which is a fear of speaking in public.
Oh, I was like that when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah, not only that, in the classroom, any subject, the teacher says, Mr. Nakamura, I need the answer, but I couldn't say a word. So he thought I don't understand it. So I was, well, he didn't think I was stupid, but, he thought like, oh, can't you do this question? In my mind, I know the answer, you motherfucker. I just can't talk. Yeah.
And so you were like frozen. You just couldn't get the words out.
It's like, I know the answer, but I couldn't speak. I was really like that.
Wow. I've always kind of liked public speaking. I was never too nervous. I mean, I was nervous, but I always enjoyed sharing or doing plays or stuff like that. I didn't like presenting my homework because I remember one time it was Grandparents' Day. And I think my teacher did this on purpose because they knew that I just like phoned it in. We were all supposed to do reports on some historical thing. And I chose the pyramids. And I procrastinated and I didn't learn. And then I just found like one book in the library and I fucking looked at it. I was like, okay, pyramids, blah, 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 blah. And then I made some shit up about pyramids. And I said that nobody had ever been inside or underneath the pyramid and there's the treasure. I made it fucking up. And so it was Grandparents' Day. And she's like, we have a bunch of reports. John Brennan, would you come up and read your report to the class? And I was like, oh, fuck. She knows that I made this shit up and she's just, and they were filming it too. I wish I still had this tape. So I filmed it. I read my shit in front of the class, dead silence. Nobody clapped. Nobody said it because at the end I was like, no one will ever know what's inside of the pyramids because the ancient secrets are locked away under locking. I just made some shit up.
Right.
So I fucking was so embarrassed after that. But
Good, you can make up the story. Because if I were you, I could froze and then couldn't say one word.
yeah, I just said, you know what? I committed to the bit, and I just basically read my report, and that was it. And nobody said like, oh, that's not right, or I just fucking pretended, and I was just like, thank God, nobody called me out for real. But I'm sure they went home and were like, that idiot kid in the pyramid. They already got the tomb, the King Tut's tomb, or whatever the fuck. I said, because I said like nobody ever found anything in any of the tombs. Like I just made shit up.
You can improvise and then stuff. That's amazing. Well, you can still, talk and act and even sing, perform.
Yeah, I like that. It's fun because, it's like you get the energy, you get the people's energy coming in, and you feel the energy, you give it back to them, and it's like a give and take.
No, I mean, I can't do these days, but when I was a kid, no, never, ever, going and then make, not even just a speech, even just a talk, I couldn't do it.
God damn. But now you're okay. You kind of talk in front of people now.
Right now, yeah, because, start little by little, but no, not when I was in the maybe junior, elementary school, junior high. Never, ever talked one word in front of even one person. No, that's why the teacher thought I was like something wrong with this kid.
Oh man, no, there's nothing wrong with Yuki.
No, but that time there was no word or term autism, but they thought I was autism then.
Oh, really? So they thought you were on the spectrum?
Yeah, because I was in my own world. Don't talk in front of the people. Go inside, and
then you started to come out of your shell.
Right, because I thought, gee, that can be good. So I kind of did like your aunt.
Oh, somebody dragged you out, or you dragged yourself?
I did by myself, and then I think that was a sophomore and then junior high school. Like, no, can't be right. I need to speak in front of the people. So I did what's called talking thing. What's called
public speaking.
Public speaking. They have some kind of competition, right?
Like debate class, debate.
So I put myself in there, and then until yesterday, I hated talking in front of everybody, right? Today, I went on the stage and then made this, but that was the one time. It was hardest thing, but it was easiest to fix it.
Wow, that's cool. So you got over the fear. That's good.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, I still not good, but I can still, I mean, talk in front of the people now.
You talk a lot in front of people. You just fucking talk all the goddamn time. You don't stop talking, Yuki.
Yeah.
That's why I never understood why Joe Bob wrote you as a one answer guy. I mean, you just talk like you just chat and chat, but all of his scripts are like you just go, yes, no. It's like, that's not Yuki. Yuki is a fucking chatty motherfucker. He has opinions on everything. All right, so why don't we leave it there, and we'll pick up on a part 2 of phobias, because there's so many more phobias we could get into on this list, and I haven't even gotten into the weird phobias yet. This is just the most common phobias. So we got phobias part 1. We'll cut it here, and we'll do phobias part 2. What do you say?
Yes.
All right, so we'll see you next time on phobias part 2 with Yuki and John on the phobia buffet.
Yes, phobia buffet. hope scaring the buffet. Go eat.
I wonder if there's a fear of the buffet. We're gonna have to find that.
Because you scared eat too much, gain the weight.
That's already. I don't have a fear of that. It's already my life.